All right, so we're back from our first scenario of our grand plan of doing this.
With all our glorious mistakes and
so much pop-ups.
Getting our, so much pop-ups, getting our butt handed to us. But I think, I think all in all, we all enjoyed the first scenario and are very anxious to see what we can, now that we got a better grasp on the game, to see if we can figure out how to do this stuff.
Getting that hands-on experience
is a big deal in this game. So and I feel like the intro scenario was also really good to get your feet wet, so to speak. There's enough going on. You get to see a lot of stuff. You get to learn how your cards move, and you know, when you read through the book, it's not like, oh, my entire experience is ruined because now it tells me that I'm maimed for the rest of the thing or something. They didn't do anything stupid like that. It's a very good intro, learn how to play.
In fact, it even has it built in that if you lose it, like we did, you can just replay it immediately, and you've already have like some experience and money that you picked up along the way. So it's not like I got to start back from zero for this. I mean, you can if you want, but
Alright, so all that being said, so far my initial opinion is 2 thumbs way up.
Yeah.
Right now. I don't know if maybe later on the game gets broken or it gets so hard that I'm not going to like it. Was it hard? Yeah, it was hard. Do I see things that I can improve on? Absolutely. Like, I really, really think that learning how to manage those cards. I know there's randomness that I can't predict, but I feel like you've got to learn how to
if you can
save
just
those
get some
cards,
combos.
Just get some combos and working together with the other heroes, because if you don't work together with the other heroes and take advantage of multi-target attacks and things like that, it's probably not going to be to your advantage. But to tell you the truth, I haven't seen such a, I don't even know how to describe it, such a massive, all-inclusive type of game. Just the sheer volume of what it looks like we're going to be able to do is incredible. Mm-hmm. Mechanics so far have seemed smooth. They're, which I've said in other reviews that I really, really like, because simple mechanics, especially with stuff like line of sight,
really helpful.
Because you don't get the, I think I can see it, and then somebody's squabbling over there that no, you can't, and I'm pretty sure that it's clipping the end of that thing so you don't have it, and it's like, that just makes the game not fun.
If it takes more than a minute to determine your line of sight, it's like, I'm not having fun.
And if you watch the video, the only thing that we discussed was, can I shoot through the door?
Right.
And we decided that until somebody tells us we can't, if, that we're doing it because it's not hitting anything.
It's not a closed door, so that's
it's not a closed door. Now, you could look at the picture and be like, well, it's not all the way open. You wouldn't have it. It is on the picture. It's a jar. There's a lot of arguments. We just don't know yet. It doesn't. All it says in the book that we could find, please point it out if you know the answer to this, was that walls. Well, once the door is open, there's no wall there. So that's the way we played that.
Just let us know if you have a good resource on where you know the answer is. Then we'll go with whatever.
Because we've just pretty much just jumped right into this thing. Other things that I just, this mechanic here, I can't say enough about that.
I didn't understand it when Mickey messaged me, but then I read the thing and I was like, holy crap, that's
I mean, maybe there's other games that have done this before. This is the first one I've seen, and I'm like, why aren't other adventure type of games doing this with their monsters? That's just,
because it's such a pain to move those tokens with the monsters on the board. It's like,
and we've played games like that where you've got to keep the damage on it, or buy it enough, and that's it's a hassle. It's not undoable. I mean, you're sitting around a table playing a board game, but that just makes it you know, and you can quickly look over and say, you know, I can go to Jeb, like, this one's got a load of, like, hey, Jeb, what number is that, and how many do they have left, or whatever, and I look at the board, and I'm good to go. So I really, really like that. I really love the initiative part, which, that's not totally new to games, in terms of random initiative. We've seen other things. The variety that this one has, though, is pretty awesome. Using a number system from basically 0 to 100 is, I don't know if there's any zeros, but my point is they have those range of numbers that they have access to if they want to do that. Is pretty cool.
I really like, I mean, it makes the game more difficult, but I like that when you spawn a new monster and its initiative when it comes out is lower than the current person, they still get to activate. Yep. It's like, this monster appears, most games would be like, oh, it's just standing there till next turn.
Not
but no, this one's like, he's coming in and he's mad.
Right. Which, if you saw, which Gary didn't like me very much, popping over and opening the door before you cleaned out another room, and, you know, that, you know, splits the party, and it's got other things going on, and if a monster comes into line of sight, they're going to come out, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Was it a stupid move? I don't know. I did have a plan that I wanted to execute that didn't hit at all. Nothing.
Mickey did the whole plan correct, but then when he flipped those modifiers, that skeleton was like, did you throw something at me?
I missed the one, totally missed, and then the skeleton healed. So there was nothing. Yep. And I lost one of my best cards.
Yep.
It was horrible. So maybe I should have listened to Gary and just stayed out there. I don't know. But again, that's one of the things I really like. I'm really looking forward to seeing how leveling up works.
Yeah.
Getting the new cards, getting the new abilities, scoring some of the secret stuff. Mm-hmm. Just seeing what's in finding out where we're going.
You got all the secret envelopes and stuff. It's like, some of the stuff is like, oh, you got to have like a really good reputation or a horrible reputation. And it's like, I kind of want to know both, but I don't know if we'll be able to fluctuate like that.
Right. Yeah. So we're we're only on the intro. So I'm assuming with the way that this game plays that we're forming a story. I mean, it kind of seems to indicate that in the rules. So all we know is that this person hired us right now, told us to go get this thing back from her in Blackborough. We found out the information. We failed the first time. We'll try to go again. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen from there on? How does the story unfold? Where are we going to take it? What other characters are we going to see?
We got all the way to the room where the treasure is. We got beat up and kicked out, and it's like, let's go back, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I also, it goes back to this card a little bit. I also like the fact is it's not new that a whole group attacks at a time. Yeah. But I really like the fact is that it's very, very simple to decide which monster activates. There's no calculation or something. You look for the lowest monster. Yep. If it's not out because it didn't get pulled, you look for the next one. And then that's the monster that activate. I mean, assuming that you did elite first and then the other ones. So you never know how they're going to move and surround or what, or, you know, be able to get off an attack or whatever. So that's really cool. I love the attack modifier.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's one of my favorite things, too.
That's so cool. And it's so RPG-ish that it's like, there's the roll of the die. Oh, that was awful.
What makes it awesome is that we know that we're going to be able to modify that deck. So, as we level up, there's stuff like, get rid of the -1, a couple of them, switch out with minus with a plus, special things, the rolling stuff. I am waiting for when we can like flip over 5 cards from a chain.
Right. Like we didn't go over any of that in our intro and stuff. But real quick, there's cards that can end up going into your modifier deck that have a symbol on it that's called a rolling symbol. And if you get that, you get to keep drawing cards as long as that symbol keeps showing up. So again, we haven't even touched those modifiers that are in in our tuck boxes right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love the other thing I love is I love the randomness again of the monsters and what they'll do on their turn, because they do something different each time. I mean, you watch this play and those stupid skeletons.
They got like
two
their
in a
best
row,
cards.
2 in a row, right out the bat. They just, I just healed myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? We're already almost dead. All of us are almost dead, and we pick out monsters and their cards because Jeb shuffled it that heal them,
Yeah.
right? So
It never let me shuffle.
So that's really cool too. So the amount of variety that they gave to keep make things not static, so to speak, so far has been excellent. And I know that we're doing this review with only one game under our belt, but I have a hard time believing that we're not going to like this game all the way through, only because it's really up all our alleys, even though Gary's not here to say anything. He
said he liked it.
No, he did say he liked it, but he likes this type of game too.
Oh, okay.
He likes dungeon crawl types of games.
Yeah, because you guys were playing Descent before I had met you, right?
Did I play with him? I don't remember. Well, we played. Yeah, he did.
The old Descent.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
One of the things I really liked was the personal goals. Like, I thought that's really cool that your hero is like, I've got this goal in my life that I want to do. When I do it, I'm done. And then you switch out. But then even better is the battle goals, that you still have your personal goal, but it's not like I'm playing like 20 scenarios and all I have is this one goal. It's I'm playing 20 scenarios. Each scenario, I have another goal that's going to be different every time.
Yep, and sometimes you might get something that's really good, and sometimes you might get something that's like, I'm probably not going to be able to get this one. So that's I don't even know where to go with this thing.
We should probably go with I feel like people like us would like it, right? If you like dungeon crawls, legacy games, you want something you want to have a group that you share an experience with. This is definitely it. I mean, that's what legacy games are pretty much. Because it's like not, I'm playing just a regular game, I'm playing this, our game.
Yeah. So, highly recommend that if you can get a group that, will commit and meet, that's the way to play this game. Although, from reading the rulebook, you don't necessarily have to do that, because you can have the do a scenario and done type of thing too. You don't have to play a campaign, but I don't know, campaign's so epic.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I wanted to mention that I really thought was spectacular about the game was this stuff. That's just great.
Oh yeah, I like how it's organized. It's like you find that symbol, all the stuff's in it.
The box is already gigantic. The only thing I could say is it's really too bad they couldn't have done this with all the components.
Right.
That would have been just awesome. But just having this is enough, because you don't have to sort and look for your stuff.
With monsters and tokens, I'm fine throwing them in a bag. But if we had to do that with all the heroes, that would be a pain.
It's easy, and you can put your upgrade cards back in the little self-sealing cellophane if you want to. That way, you don't mix them up with the ones, and then vice versa. Once you start to upgrade, you can keep them so they're just separate. I mean, you don't have to do that. You could even use a piece of that the magic tape that sticks to itself that doesn't ruin cards. I forget what it's called. Hugo's, I think. And same with the upgrade deck with these. Just a really nice touch with the tuck boxes, and even for the figures. So if you paint them, they have a little bit of protection. They're not hitting against the inside of the box, flopping around.
You don't have stuff crushing.
Yeah, they'll hit the cardboard a little bit, but a couple good coats of clear coat, that's not going to hurt anything if you're into painting the miniatures. Which is another aspect of the game too, with the miniature painting, because
I love painting miniatures, but at this point I have so many miniatures to paint. that I was so happy that it's only the heroes that have miniatures.
Right, no
and that
monsters.
all the monsters are just standees. I was like, thank you.
Which really works in this game. So, in my opinion, I don't know. I haven't read anybody's comments. If there's people out there saying that this game needs minis for the monsters, they're crazy.
That'd be rough because you'd have to put the numbers on the bottom of it, and some of those monsters look big. So you're gonna have like 6 or 10 of these huge monsters.
I don't want that. I like this. The standees, I think, works excellent.
That's for somebody who wants to just go all out. They can do it themselves.
I know, but then you're talking about, now how are you going to shuffle it up? And if they're that big of a painter, they're not going to want to shuffle it up. Then you're talking about, well, now I need separate chips to pick out, and then I pick the monster that maxes the chip, and I'm like, yeah, no. the standees and figures for the heroes was, in my opinion, the perfect way to go.
I agree with that.
So the only rough part is awesome as this stuff is for the characters, boy, once you got everything punched out and you try to at least organize with some Ziplocs and stuff a little bit, that box is still, like, packed to the hilt, and it's well, I won't say a mess, but it's you know, I mean, you get a tray for cards, so those are okay. But there's a lot of components.
Yeah, there's organizers out there, but my opinion, I think the organizer might be about half of what the game costs.
Probably.
And I'm like, I could see if somebody like has a group that they can consistently do this with, and they have the removable stickers, then maybe I'd get the thing. But I know we're not going to be playing it like that frequently, so.
Yeah, I mean, because we're supposed to be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. And then Jeb had, you know, mentioned who would like it. Obviously, like he said, dungeon crawl people, legacy type of people, massive game type of people. I think it's pretty easy to just look at the game and determine who wouldn't like the game.
If you don't like a massive game, you're gonna cry when you open this box. And there's like so much stuff.
And there's a lot of rules too. Let's be honest. They're not like, I won't say that it's there's a learning curve. I won't say that there's anything overly complicated yet.
Yeah, compared to like other things I've played, I was like, oh, the rules aren't bad. It's
just a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of stuff. Like,
we both read through the rules, and I think I went over it maybe once or twice more. But I mean, there's still stuff I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, like, you come to a card, it's got something you haven't seen before. You saw us in the game. We had to stop and learn exactly how summoning worked.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just, I mean, that's not really, I mean, depending on the character, it's not, I wouldn't call that basic. It's not an attack, and it's not a move. So it's like, oh, this thing's coming out of the board. Okay, now how does all this work? It's those types of things that you're going to have to spend a little bit of extra time on, and then you'll be fine. And I didn't think, I mean, we got stuck with a couple things, but I didn't, as a whole, I didn't think that, like some other games that we were like, man, this is what is going on? I don't know. It's like, I kind of get it, and I didn't feel like if we had to make up a rule that we, like, probably broke the game.
Yeah, I feel like since the rules are so thematic, that the way we play games, if we don't know something and we can't find it, we'll go with the thematic answer. And I feel like in this, if we come across that, I wouldn't be mad with that, because it kind of makes sense.
Well, you guys actually saw that at one part. If you did watch the gameplay, and you could tell us, again, if we're wrong, we went thematic when we were throwing the trap downs for the archers.
Yeah.
Because they had put a total row in front of them, and then we were like, wait a second, they get to throw another one. Well, technically it says put it adjacent to them, and we decided not to put it in back of them, because what dumb archer would throw a trap behind them so that they were boxed in?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. So we didn't. And that's how, you know, that's how we approached that, without the literal, you know, we went more with the intent of the card, and the intent of the card was to throw traps down so that the heroes can't get to the archers.
Right.
If we're wrong, somebody can tell us, and we might even just ignore that, because I kind of like the thematically way we played. And you know what? That's part of these types of games, where it's like, you know what? If it does, if you want to play it a little different and it doesn't break the game, then do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else you got, because I've been talking my butt off.
Well, we know people who wouldn't like it is like long games. If you don't like dungeon crawls, if you don't like legacy games, which because some people don't like having to tear stuff up or permanently change stuff.
Right.
But aside from that, I think things to remember. I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Jeb
so actually
every
did
time we do these games, every time we do an episode, I'll like write a little section on things to remember. And I wrote one for Mickey, sent it to him by email, and he was like, "This is
the whole rulebook."
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeb.
Yeah.
It almost did seem like that. I honestly, with things to remember,
I know like only monsters that were populated drop money. I think some people I read online forgot that monsters drop money, so that's something to remember.
But not summoned monsters, and not, what's the other thing? And not spawned monsters. Only the ones that were there from the beginning.
And then you got the things that you summon have intelligence like a monster. You don't get to control them. I messed up the shield with forgetting that it was a card that gets discarded at the end of the round.
Yeah, that was just a oversight on reading. I guess, I mean, that brings up a good point. When you're starting, try to make sure you read everything very closely on in terms of your cards and stuff, because that'll, honestly, once you have the idea of movement and attacking down, you can almost jump into the game and go to the rulebook. Your first session's going to take you a while, but I do think that probably the 30 minutes per player, once we have the... Once we have the idea of like, oh, wait a second, where's that card? I know what I want to play. I know what I want to do. Is probably going to be close to about right. Yeah. I'm assuming.
But yeah, there's like a ton of small nuances in the game that I'd be like, yeah, you should remember this, remember that, and you're going to be like, Jeb, I forgot half of what you just said already. So
I think the 2 in the discard pile, something you need to remember. Careful of your hand size.
Using the base attack or movement makes it go to the discard, even if the big portion says get rid of it.
Right, even if the big portion says get rid of it.
When you're in Gloomhaven, there's you can donate to the temple, and that's one thing I didn't mention. But there's also, like, in the rulebook, like, halfway through in one section is a list of things that if you do this stuff, you can, like, unlock envelopes or gain stuff. So.
Right.
Oh, donating to the temple gets you bless cards that go into your modifier deck. Bless and the other thing come out of the deck at the end of the scenario.
Yeah, speaking of the rulebook, I'm kind of torn in between the rulebook because I don't think it's written bad, but it might have been able to be put together a little bit better.
One of the biggest complaints I had was that all the campaign stuff was at the end. I feel like
that's typical. It really is.
Oh well, I kind of liked it the way that we talked about it, where like this is a campaign, and then inside of it is a scenario, and then you kind of like zoom in on a scenario, and like that's how I would have preferred reading it.
It probably would have been better for this particular game.
But the biggest thing for me was the setting up of everything, because it's kind of like scattered in different parts of the rulebook, and we ended up getting something on BGG, like some guy had posted a list of things.
It consolidated it into whatever. So, but that being said, it's not, there's not stuff like, it's not like, oh, I don't understand what you're saying. It's just that there's a lot of information, and, it may or may not be to your liking on the way it was put in there, but read it through. It's one of those, definitely read it through, then go back and read it again, because your brain will pick up on what it wanted to.
Even reading it after you play the first scenario will help.
Yep.
Because
definitely
you'll be like, oh, I remember
I missed that. I missed that, or I remember that, or, or, oh, I should have done that, or whatever the case may be. So...
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff, but we'll stop talking about it.
You could go on for a while.
Some of the key things that we want you guys to know is that we're recording all of the scenarios that we play through.
Yep.
So right now, it just might be this episode up, but if you keep looking at our YouTube page, over time there's going to be more videos for Gloomhaven.
And you'll see how our whole thing ends up playing out for us. One other thing on that, obviously, if you're going to watch it, you could get spoilers if you're going to end up doing this. If you've already played it, you can yell at us and tell us we're doing stupid things. I don't know.
Yeah,
definitely tell us if we've got some of the rules wrong, because we want to be able to put that out there so other people, you know, like at the beat. In a perfect world, if we put a video up and the next one hasn't gone up yet, and you guys tell us we did something wrong, then at the beginning of the next one, Jeb can put hey, last session, this is what we should have done per the rules of the game, or something like that. That way, other people won't make the same mistake. But I guess that's about it. And
definitely leave comments, like, and subscribe. We definitely, if you guys give us feedback, we're happy to know people are liking our stuff.
Yep.
We've got plenty of episodes that you can go back and watch. We got all kinds of games covered. We're going to continue to do more. If you have anything you want to see, because you know how much time we have.
Yeah, not enough.
We'll try to get to your stuff that you want to see first. So.
All right.
I think that's about it. So until, I guess, our next session, right?
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Boards and booze, booze and boards with Mickey and Jeb.